This is the Padres Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Diego Padres. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Padre fan? Welcome to your Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease, and a big win for the San Diego Padres today to close out their homestand. Huge performance by Nick PIVETTA, his best start of the season. Beautiful job by PIVETTA in a game where the bullpen, they went 6 innings yesterday, and they did 6 shutout innings, allowing you to come back and get a 4-3 win today. They only needed 2 innings, but no Robert Suarez. He appealed his suspension, got 2 games instead of 3. Game 1 was today, and so, yeah, the Padres didn't have their closer, and their bullpen was overworked from yesterday. So a great start by PIVETTA just when they needed it most, and a tremendous job by the Nationals as well in this game. A very cleanly played, very well-played game, and great job by the Padres to get this win. 1-0 wasn't easy. Obviously, that run scored very early in the game. Luis Arraez 3 hits, Elias Diaz a couple hits as well, but that's about it for the Padres today. The final, again, 1-0 Padres. They take 2 out of 3 in the series. Want to thank you again. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease, G-R-I-E-S, at Jim Grease _ on social media. Give me a follow. Make you holla. But I do want to thank you. Sincere gratitude is the attitude, because you're here day in and day out, you everydayers. If you're new, welcome. Bienvenido aquí. But I want to say this, okay? Thank you for making us your first watch or listen every day, whether it's myself with the postcast right here after every game, or Javier Reyes with the podcast, which is pretty much every day right here as well. Now, let me explain. Live on YouTube and free. We're free everywhere all the time. Live on YouTube right after the game. So as soon as we can, as soon as that game's over, we get everything loaded, we get everything ready. We are live, right? That's YouTube. So you can come on in, you can follow us, you can subscribe, you can hit that bell so you get alerted when we have more content coming your way, and you can come into the chat room and interact with me live during the show. That's the only way to interact live at all on the show, is to do that. Of course, after the live show is over on YouTube, we upload to wherever you get your audio podcasts. So wherever you download from, wherever you listen from, that would be Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, et al., right? So there you go. And then, of course, the third one, you download OTT. Yeah, you know me, used to be OPP, but I can still get it done. The Grays are here, though. So it's OTT these days, over the top television like Roku, for example. So thanking you for making us your first watch or listen every day is what we make it a habit of doing here on the network. And today is no different. Real quick, before we kick it into high gear, after this 1-0 win, that gives you 2 out of 3 over the Nationals. And, man, you finally were able to get Abrams and Wood out, the 2 guys you traded away in the Soto deal 3 years ago. Finally able to get them out today after they started the series like 6 for 8 between the 2 of them. Anyway, today's episode of your Padres Postcast is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year with Monarch Money on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Huge win, another sellout, 35 sellouts this year at Petco. And how about this for the Padres? A Wednesday afternoon, a 1:10 first pitch, sellout, baby. Sell out. That's how we do. Jim Grieshaber, Call Me Grease, Padres Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Still to come. We tell you how. We tell you what. We tell you everything about this 1-0 win that we can squeeze into a 20-minute show. Padres Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, Jim Grieshaber, Call Me Grease, your team every day. Full speed ahead with the Postcast. Let's roll.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right, how about we start with the lineup change, man? You guys rather look at Fernando than me. Look at that shot. Beautiful job. But Fernando, by the way, stealing second base late in the game, pulls back the left hand as he's about to be tagged. Brutal, right? Sir, it's not like he's fast and everything else deceptive, gets a great jump. But now he's got the art of sliding down to where he pulled back the left hand, came in with the right, and made them miss the tag on a beautiful throw where they had it. And by the way, tremendous defense today by the Padres. Merrill with the leaping grab in center field. You had a nice job by Tyler Wade on a diving stop at second. And how about Elias Diaz? Not only did he have 2 hits, he came out like a gato, like a cat, right? Jumping out from behind the dish on a bunt in the 9th inning and he throws the runner out. Like, he sprang out from behind home plate, full speed. Great job by Elias Diaz. But I have to show this again. This is just a dope picture. I mean, the lenses that you have that you can get so close, thanks to our friends at Imagine. IMAG. Hey, N. IMAGN is Imagine, but IMAG. Get it? IMAG. OG. I'm about to be OG Pa, about to be a grandpa. My daughter's going to have a kid any minute now. So there's Luis Arraez in the little box right here. You know, you get the little, that's supposed to be my picture in there. PIVETTA was fantastic today. Struck out 10 in 7 innings. All right, let's get to the recap real quick, and then we will break it down for you. Like DX, break it down. I see we need musical accompaniment in the show, and I just got an email from my boss, Sam Ekstrom, who's phenomenal, and he should get raise after raise, promotion after promotion, and eventually run the network. Sorry, David Locke. I know it's locked on, but besides that, I'm a Sam guy, but I want to say this about Sam. He sent me an email. Grease, your hosting is on point, phenomenal, but we need to work on some of these production things that shouldn't be happening. That's because I have to produce my own show. I'm live. The camera's in the computer, so it's right on my face the whole show. And, we're playing everything ourselves. We're setting everything up ourselves. And, this boomer, I'm not really a boomer. I'm a Gen Xer, baby. DX, break it down. Gen X. So this Gen Xer in a Gen Z world, and it's even getting worse for me because now it's Generation Alpha. Anyway, Nick Pivetta, 7 shutout innings. Brilliant from Pivetta. Had the high heat working, but that curveball. Oh, that curveball. Remember Bert Blyleven, or as Chris Berman called him, Bert B. Home Blyleven? You know what I'm saying? And that dude had the best curveball for years. We talk about the Blyleven 12-6er. Well, Pivetta has one of the best in the game right now. Had the sweeper going today, too. Didn't even really use the sweeper until the third time through the lineup, which is devastating because you get a read on a guy the first time up. Maybe you see a couple pitches. Leadoff hitters, 2-hole guys, high average hitters like Luis Arraez typically love to see as many pitches as they can early in the game off the starter. AB1, and then definitely by the time their second at-bat is done, because by the time the third time through the lineup comes around, you get a read on a guy, and hey, he's been pitching me this way. I know what his curveball looks like today. I know what his fastball looks like, but then he busts out that third and fourth pitch, and you're like, bruh. That was Pivetta today, right? 10 strikeouts, matched his season high, 1 zip with the win on a day when the bullpen needed the rest. Without a doubt, you had Estrada going inning. You had Morejon throw an inning as well. It was another meatloaf series for the Padres. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. 8-2 for Pivetta. He's been maybe the MVP of the Padres this season. Manny, with his incredible run in May and June, has probably been the offensive MVP. Merrill missed a bunch of time. Tatis was awful in May and has been terrible in June. Look, he was 1 for 11 in this series, Fernando was. So much so that Schilte is grasping at straws here. Like, hey, I don't even know where that comes from, grasping at straws, but that's what he's doing. So he's literally moving the lineup up and down. He was Arraez in the 4-hole yesterday, leadoff today. So you have Arraez leadoff. Fernando moved to the 4 spot. Manny in the 2-hole. Jackson Merrill at 3. Gavin Sheets in the 5 spot. I just, whatever. They're moving guys around. They need a left fielder. They need a power hitter. They need probably 2 bats in this lineup. So anyway, 2 out of 3 over the Pods, but man, nobody reached scoring position for the Nationals. Dalen Lyle got picked off after a leadoff single in the 3rd. It's like, thank you for playing. Now sit down. Jeremiah Estrada, as I mentioned, Adrian Morejon, each pitching a perfect inning. Morejon got his 2nd save mentioned earlier. Robert Suarez, first of the 2-game suspension, reduced from 3 for absolutely 100% beaning Shohei Ohtani. And 2 games from your closer, is it worth it? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, he didn't get hurt. You sent a message to the Dodgers. You can spend hundreds of gajillions of dollars all you want. You can defer him so Ohtani's grandkids can gamble with his interpreter and his trainer and everybody else. Allegedly, you can defer him for 150 years if you want. But you throw at our guys, we're throwing at yours. And you know what? A lot of old school baseball in that series and a lot of bad blood. And how bad is, speaking of bad blood, Taylor Swift, I digress. I get off topic here for a second. But how terrible is it that they have that tight end university now that Kelsey and Kittle and all those guys are putting together? The tight ends come and learn and interact and correspond and hang out just together, just the tight ends, right? And oh my God, what a surprise for the big, tough football players, the tight ends who catch passes and block. Some of the toughest guys in the sport. Oh, they got subjected to a Taylor Swift concert. This Kelsey Swift relationship has got to stop. Anyway, 3 singles for Arraez in the leadoff spot. He likes it. Only the 2nd time he hit leadoff this year. 3-time batting champion right at home, seemingly wherever you put him in the lineup. Had an RBI yesterday too. Mackenzie Gore goes to 3-8, but man, he pitched good today. 6 innings, only gave up that 1 run. Elias Diaz was thrown out at the plate by Jacob Young on the Arise RBI single with 2 outs in the 2nd inning, scored Tyler Wade, and that's the only run, and they just protected that lead the whole game. Think about this, right? Gore, Mackenzie Gore, the starter for the Nats today, was one of the 6 players sent to Washington in the Juan Soto deal in 2022. So it's crazy. When you think about it, 3rd pick overall in the 2017 amateur draft. And of course, the other guys in that trade, we've been documenting them all weekend because they were killing it. So you're looking at Woods and Abrams and all these guys that have, and they didn't do anything today. The top of the Washington lineup was empty, nothing, didn't produce anything, kind of like the middle of the Padres lineup as well. And I don't know why you move Manny in the lineup the way he's been hitting. I don't know why you mess with him or touch him at all right now. Anyway, what else is there? 3 hits allowed by Pivetta, no walks, nobody reached second. That's what you call dominant. So Dylan Cease will pick up the ball in the opener at Cincinnati. So now here's the thing right now for the Padres, and this is something that I really would love to look at because you're looking at the standings, and you got the other 2 teams in the division. Well, all of them play tonight because the Dodgers play the Rockies, but Dodgers, Giants play later. But as of right now, the Padres are 5 behind the Dodgers and a half game behind the Giants, who are 4.5 behind the Dodgers in the West. And that's where it stands right now. Of course, the Nats are in last place in the NL East behind even the Marlins, percentage points behind them. They're 3 games back in the loss column, 1 game up in the win column, but 3 back in the L column. Crazy, right? But a nice win nonetheless today for the Padres. Look, you got to beat these teams. You got to win these games. Right? You play the games on the schedule. You have to fatten up. You had that tough stretch, 4 at San Francisco, 7 against the Dodgers. You know what I mean? 3 against the Diamondbacks. And, just a brilliant performance by Pivetta when you needed it the most. And look what you have coming up. Look what you have coming up, man. You got some tough road games, and when I say tough, it's like you're expected to win 2 out of 3 against these teams. They're not very good teams. And you got some issues. Suarez only suspended 1 more game. Adam hasn't pitched in a couple days. He'd be all right there. But with Hayward gone, with Lockridge gone, you have no left fielder. Sheets is still lost out there. He's got to be a DH. At one point, I think he'll cool off and maybe be a DH platoon. But it's crazy when you think about this team starting the season 7-0 and where they are now. You go to Cincinnati for 3. You go to Philadelphia for 3. Now, the Reds are a pretty decent team. You know what I mean? They're not bad. Phillies, very good team, underachieving, underperforming, as the Padres are too. Then you come home for 3 against Texas and 4 against Arizona, followed by 3 against the Phillies, and that will take you to the All-Star break. So you got this trip, 6 now on the road. They're off tomorrow before they started up on Friday at Cincinnati. Maybe they'll, get some Skyline chili dogs while they're out there, but then they go to Philly, get the cheesesteaks. You go to the chili dog, to the cheesesteak. You go to back home where everybody says and people vote on Petco's the best park in the majors. Absolutely. Okay, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Still a lot to talk about with this game today as the Padres get the win. 1-0 to, and look, Ryan Berger got hit on the elbow by a line drive yesterday. The bullpen had to pitch 6 innings. Just a great job all the way across the board. The bullpen in yesterday's game, phenomenal. 6 innings of shutout ball, allowed the Pods to get the comeback win. Today, it was Pivetta, fantastic. And then, you don't want to diminish a perfect inning from Estrada and a perfect inning from Morejon. All right, real quick before we 1-0 win. I think this might be their only 1-0 win. They had a 1-0 loss, I believe, against the Rays. Might have been against the Mariners. One of the 2 where Michael down with the king. So anyway, yeah, Pivetta shuts him down. Shiggity shut him down. He shuts him down. Shiggity shuts him down. Okay, so here you go. Real quick before we hit the break, and then we'll come back, obviously, with your player of the game, your turning point, and get you ready for tomorrow. I just want to give you the particulars. In particular, Pivetta gets the win, goes to 8-2, 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 10 strikeouts, no walks. Mackenzie Gore, the loss, former Padre prospect, 3-8 on the year, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, and he walked 3. Morejon gets his second save, a perfect inning pitched in the ninth after the hold for Estrada, backing up PIVETTA. Brilliant job. 1 run in the second for the Padres, who had 1 run on 6 hits, no errors. And the Nationals, no runs, 3 hits, 1 error. All right, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. This is your Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Still so much to talk about. We will get to it on the other side. We have a new sponsor to welcome in, and some of you guys might want to learn more about them, all right, for sure. Some of you more than others, but that's all I'm going to say about that for the time being. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, Turning Point, Player of the Game, all that and more on the way next. Padres Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, live on YouTube right after the games, and of course, downloadable, listenable, wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, and available on Roku. You down with OTT? Yeah, you know me. This whole party. Gas Lamp on a Wednesday. Happy hour. Are you kidding me? No, I am not. Gas Lamp after a win with a sellout crowd on a Wednesday afternoon on a 70-degree day on the Bay. It doesn't get much better than this. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Padres Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. A couple of sponsors to tell you about coming back on the other side. And I get a chance to talk to you. Remember Eddie Murphy about Bill Cosby? Talk to you about the things you say in your show. So I will talk to you about Monarch Money. You know why? Because we all need to take care of our money. We need to make it work for us instead of working for it. You know, trading time for money, investments, all these things, right? But if you're not keeping track of your money the way you should, you are really costing yourself. You ever wish managing your money felt easier? I know I do. With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Now, here's the important part. Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, all your investments, all your spending in one spot. So in addition to managing your money, you are also building wealth, my friend. And I guess when I started using Monarch Money, one of the perks of the job here with the network is I noticed how much money I've been spending out and on food delivery. And I had to realize, like, hey, when you're out, maybe you don't need to get that extra appetizer. Maybe you don't need to get that dessert. Maybe you don't need to get those extra drinks. Maybe you don't need to order food delivery all the time. Go walk around the corner and pick it up, Fatsy. But anyway, that's what I kind of learned and talked to myself that way. Was there a specific category? Not especially, other than the food takeout. That was what was killing me. And so I was able to track that and take care of the situation with Monarch Money, and never made it easier to manage your money day to day. Sharing your finances with someone, a spouse, a partner, a love, a kid, a business, anything. You can do that very easily with Monarch Money as well. Everybody's tapped in and tuned in and turned on by Monarch Money. That's right. It is incredible, because in this day and age, now more than ever, we need to take control of our finances, and we can do it with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year with Monarch Money on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And now I get a chance to tell you about a new sponsor on the programs, and I will tell you this. You've probably, guys, I'm talking to you. You've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis, right? Maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet. It is time to meet. You have to meet Rugiette. That's right, Rugiette Ready. Rugiette Ready is a next-gen prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal in the brain and boost blood flow. Unlike the usual pills that can take hours, Rugiette's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under your tongue and kicks in fast, on average in 15 minutes, right? 15 minutes so you can, you know what I mean? You can delay, you can say whatever you need to say. Hey, give me a couple minutes. I'll go get us a drink. I'll tell you, I need to use the restroom. Oh man, those nachos. Effects can last up to 36 hours, so you can stay confident and in control when the moment is right with Rugiette. And that's key, right? You want it in the moment, obviously. What's more spontaneous than that moment? If traditional options haven't worked, Rugiette might be the answer. Over 150,000 men have already made the switch. I love that it's completely online, right? Rugiette connects you with a board-certified doctor, ships your treatment discreetly to your door. You can even read real customer reviews on their site. It's helping a lot of people feel more confident and present in the moment. And what moment needs you to be more present than that? Head to rugiet.com/LockedOnMLB and use code LockedOnMLB to get 15% off today. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnMLB. Rugiet. Use promo code LockedOnMLB for 15% off with Rugiet on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day. All right, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. 1-zip Pods, 2-1 in the series. They end the homestand on a positive note. A win is a win. I don't care how the Padres do it, says Eric Radford, 2142. Now, he's live on YouTube and in the chat interacting. Please smash that subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you are alerted when we're coming your way with more content. Myself, Javier Reyes, Locked On Padres podcast. The mailbag's big with Javi. He's been building the channel since before the pandemic. Hit the mailbag. You know what I'm saying? The shorts. He posts shorts all the time. You can catch him on Locked On MLB Game Night, which, by the way, is a great show. And so after you're done with us with the postcast and you're done with Javier Reyes with the podcast every day right here, YouTube, wherever you listen or upload your podcast, download them, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, and, of course, Roku, OTT. Yeah, you know me. Once you're done with us, check out Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale with MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. All right, there you have it. 1-zip, zippity-doo-dah, zippity-a. My, oh my, what a beautiful day. Plenty of sunshine heading our way, and the Padres don't let the Nationals get away. That was dumb. Sometimes you're live and you just come up with stuff. Maybe it wasn't as dumb as I thought it was. Anyway, maybe you wish it were dumb because dumb actually means mute and couldn't be audible. So anyway, Abrams and Wood, a combined 0 for 8. Was that nice to see after what they just did to you? You know, in fact, the top 5 hitters in the Nats lineup were 0 for 17 in today's game, which is pretty awesome, right? 0 for 17. And then they, had 3 guys with 1 hit each, Call, Lyle, and Young. And of course, Lyle was picked off at first. A perfect inning each for Estrada and Morejon in the 8th and the 9th. After 7 innings of dominance from Nick Pivetta, 3 hits, no walks, 10 strikeouts, his best outing of the season to go to 8-2. Morejon gets his second save without Suarez available, serving the 2-game suspension. Meanwhile, for the Padres, who scored their run all the way back in the 2nd inning on a Luis Arraez RBI single, he had 3 hits today in the leadoff spot for just the 2nd time this season. Had the 3 hits, had the RBI, would have been 2, but Elias Diaz tried to score. And he's a catcher carrying a piano anyway. He's quick for a catcher, but he was out by a mile. And to say that he got thrown out at home is a generous way to word it for Diaz. I don't know why in the hell they even sent him. It was ridiculous. But anyway, I digressify. 3 for 4 with an RBI for Arraez. Manny 0 for 4. Merrill 0 for 3. Tatis 0 for 3. Sheets 0 for 4. Iglesias 0 for 3. He played short today for Xander, who's got the shoulder stuff going on. Darvish is coming back early July. King sometime in the second half. Hayward's been released. You know what I mean? Just so many things going on with this team. Hoying's back now, so you got to watch the transactions and Suarez with the suspension. Meanwhile, Fernando Tatis Jr. 1 for 11 in this series, and he stole second in the 9th and could have come home on a base hit to give him an insurance run. He affects the game in so many ways, but they move him to the cleanup spot, and it didn't help. It didn't help at all. Just 1 for 11. It looked in June. It looked for a minute there. The Giants, the Dodgers, it looked as though Fernando was starting to shake off some of that. But I don't know if getting hit by that pitch in the wrist hurts him at all still or whatever. But anyway, Arraez 3 for 4. Diaz 2 for 3. Arraez had the RBI. Wade had the run scored. He walked and scored. Johnson had the other hit for the Padres. So you're looking at 3 from Arraez, 2 for Diaz, and 1 for Johnson. Interestingly enough, Bryce Johnson's been pretty good. Pretty good. He's hitting 417 since he's been, called up. So a good job by him. And now you go to, at WKRP and where? Cincinnati. There you go. All right. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. 1-zip the final. Padres win. Smash that subscribe. Hit the bell so you know when we're coming away with more content as you're watching right now live on YouTube. And if after the fact, like so many of you do. You've downloaded this podcast or you're just listening to it on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Podbean, iHeart. Thank you for being here so much. Also, you on Roku, please subscribe. Give us a hell yeah in the comments. Big Padres win today, off tomorrow before they're heading to Cincinnati. All right, couple things to do. Very short time to do them, and I got to get out of here. Too long with the show. Here we go. Benchmark number 1.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
The game was won when this dude took the mound today, and that's Nick PIVETTA, his best start of the season, right? And there's Estrada, who pitched a perfect inning along with Morejon, and there's the result. You know what I'm saying? Padres win. So when PIVETTA took the mound today is pretty much when this game turned. He struck out 10, walked none, gave up 3 hits. Nobody reached second base. He was brilliant, dominant, fastball, curveball was on point, and the third time through, he started hitting with the sweeper. I only wish PIVETTA had been allowed to continue. He only threw 90 pitches, but who am I? Who am I? You know what I'm saying? But there's a shot of the guy who turned the game around offensively. Luis Arraez, 3 hits today, and had that go-ahead single in the second inning that made it 1-0, and it held up all the way. Hard to call that the turning point, though, because how many games do you lose where, you only score 1 run? It really was about the pitching today. The Padres offense does not get off the hook because their pitching was great. There, I said it. And there's been too many games this year where this has happened, particularly with the bullpen. But Pivetta's been their best starter. Cease will start the opener in Cincy. Michael King still out. I mean, obviously, each of them has been dominant at times. King more than Cease. But Pivetta's been their best pitcher, their best starter. I'll say that, their best starter. I don't know about best pitcher, but best starter without a doubt. The real key here is you got Merrill back, you got Manny still red hot, and you're hoping that Fernando picks it up before this Cincy series. All right, one more thing to do before we get out of here, and here it is.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
So nice. StreamYard does it twice. There's a rise on that base hit. You can see him extension, driving a line drive, a one-hopper past the shortstop to moving to his right. And then he absolutely just did a great job. And that was Abrams, by the way. He got it past Abrams. And they were playing him to pull. He hit a little bit toward the hole in between third and short, and it got through. And it obviously scores Tyler Wade. Diaz gets thrown out at the dish, but Luis Arraez is obviously right up there for player of the game status, but there's only one guy today when you're talking about a player of the game for the San Diego Padres. And real quick, here's the play at the plate. Diaz was out by a mile. I mean, by an absolute mile. All right, so here's your player of the game. Dun, 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 dun. 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, 3 hits, no walks. Nobody in a Nationals uniform even makes it to second base into scoring position. Nick PIVETTA with a dominating performance today for the Pods, and here is the result of that performance. The Padres win in front of a sellout crowd on a Wednesday. Beautiful day, 70 degrees at Petco. It does not get any better. Maybe it does after, when you go into the gas lamp and celebrate that. Get some grub, get some drinks, have some fun, enjoy the scenery, enjoy the people, enjoy the weather, the day, the victory. You know what I'm saying? You can't do any better than that. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. 1-0 the final. The Padres getting it done. PIVETTA, Estrada, and Morejon with the shutout, and Arraez with the 3 hits, driving in the only run of the day for the Padres. Fernando Tatis Jr., 1 for 11 in the series. Got to get him going, but they go into Cincinnati, and they're still within striking distance. 5 games back of the Dodgers, a half game behind the Giants for second. Wild card race, it's too early to start really watching that, but you start to a little bit here. You got this trip, then you come back home. You got a trip before the break, and then you got to figure out, man, trade deadline coming up. Need a left fielder, need a power bat, maybe a lefty starter, some definite depth maybe, offensively, and that's been tough to come by as well. Your system's a little depleted, but when you get Darvish back, when you get King back, you know what I mean, and whoever the hell they get to play left field, anything be better than that disaster of the Hayward-Lockridge platoon. Great win, San Diego. Getaway day ends in a positive way. 1-0 over the Nats. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Thank you for watching your Padres postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, 4:10 Pacific, first pitch Friday, right after the game, probably around 6:30, 6 or 6:30, somewhere in that range. We will be live with your Padres Postcast. Until then, San Diego and Padre fans everywhere, keep your game tight and your mind right. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, and I am out. Thank you for watching Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day.